right, listeners, we got Cedric Savage on the line. He has a big fight coming up this Saturday for AFL 2. He's in the main event. Thanks for joining us today, Cedric. How are you today?
Doing wonderful, wonderful. Just waiting for this fight coming up Saturday.
Yeah, so it's AFL, always putting on great promotions. But fill the listeners in, let them know who you are and when you're not in fight mode, what you're passionate about.
My whole life pretty much revolved around some type of sports, either football or wrestling growing up. Outside of fight mode, man, I'm a gamer to the fullest, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I love my video games, my Madden, my State of Decay, especially my UFC. That's why I love the prep before I fight, man. It's just getting engraved in it, you know what I'm saying? Involving my entire life around anything athletic, anything that creates get that adrenaline pumping, that blood boiling, Even yes. Fight week, I'll be playing volleyball, I'll be playing soccer, Yeah,
it sounds pretty fun to get your mind off the fight, just to pretty much chill and because it's pretty.
Anything to make it normal, you know what I'm saying?
You see that your last fight was in October 2017.
Yeah.
Have you transitioned easily back into it? How are you feeling?
That fight in October, that was my last fight, not because I wanted it to happen, you know what I'm saying? The entire time I've been training, looking for fights all the way up until then. I just had so many opponents back out. We'll set up a fight and somebody decides they don't want to fight me again, I've come to run into them problems lately.
Yeah, it seems like people are trying
to I've stayed hungry, stayed ready, The only difference is that last fight was heavyweight, you know what I'm saying? So I just have to come in a little bit lighter at 205. There's really no work at all.
Do you prefer heavyweight or light heavyweight? Which one do you feel more comfortable at?
Either one, for real. Heavyweight just tends to be fun, you know what I'm saying? It's just it's a different puzzle to solve as far as the big guys. Heavyweight, it's always nice to come in there with some abs, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly, man. Got to show off for those photos, right?
Exactly.
How's training? How's this training camp gone for this fight?
Training, they've been whooping my ass. Training's been going good, though. This is a solid training camp that I've really enjoyed. It was kind of tough at first because my wife, she's military, she's Navy.
Okay.
So, she was actually at school for, maybe, the better half of this camp, but, I still have family members and friends and, that helped me out and all stuff. But when she was gone, man, I had to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning just to get to practical, to get my training sessions in and leave and then go take care of the baby and then go back in the evening, and get my other training session and my pad work and my skill work in, I'm really big about 2-a-days when it comes to training for fights. If you're not doing 2-a-days, 2-a-days from football, I believe, helps just ingrain it in you to a point where you're not thinking about it. Everything is just reactionary. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's
them two.
There's a lot of dedication put in this. It's by the sounds of it, you got a family life and the fight life, and you gotta. But it's good to see that you're still passionate about it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think it's just certain people. You know what I'm saying? Some people just have that drive to want to win. You know what I'm saying? And I'll take that to any aspect of my life. But fighting is just something that I really gravitated to, especially from wrestling in high school and middle school, Yeah,
it's a great sport. Everything you guys do, it's such a passionate thing, right? So that's why we fall in love with it every time.
Yes, sir.
You get the chance to be in the main event in your home state of Virginia. How does that feel?
Oh, it feels wonderful. I had my prom there at the same convention center that the fight's going down.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Man. Yeah, exactly. So I have my old teachers coming to this fight. I have family coming to this fight. I have friends coming to fight. People who knew me before I was fighting. You know what I'm saying? And that's what really matters to me. That they get a chance to see me outside of my element. Outside of the guy who's always goofing around, who's always helping them with any problems. Just different personality they get to see.
Is there any added pressure with having your teachers and old friends there?
I did at first. It was at first because I was involved with some of the Sparta events coming out here. I fought amateur. I was their heavyweight and light heavyweight champion.
Okay.
The pressure, not really, because for a while when I was training, I was out in California for a minute. Mm-hmm. So I was getting fights in Tijuana, Ensenada, Rosarito. I was getting fights in Vegas too, Paula Casino.
Oh, wow.
And like some of them places, I got booed.
Really?
Like to hell. Yeah, I remember I was in Ensenada, Mexico, and like I went up there for a Muay Thai tournament. Got the hell booed out of me. They were clapping afterwards, you know what I'm saying? But I got completely fucking booed, you know?
I can't understand why people boo fighters.
Well, I mean, you gotta understand too, like you go in there wearing like red, white, and blue or whatever, you know. I'm not wearing no Trump shorts and going down to Mexico.
True.
I mean, like you go in there like oh, big black American, you know, I guess like the locals, you know, like of course the locals are gonna side with their fighter, you know what I'm saying? So they're gonna be rooting for them. I'm pretty sure people just getting involved in the fights, you know, like it's just something to get into, like the old Coliseum days. Like you have somebody you're going for who you relate to, and you have your enemy. As long as it's a good fight, I don't think anybody's tripping about that for real. Just want to see people put their heart into it.
Exactly, and that's the kind of thing I'm not a fan of people booing, because at the end of the day, we don't know the sacrifices you guys have made for this fight. So to boo you, I don't know. I can't get behind that. Even if I'm gonna pick against you, I'm gonna give you some sort of support. Like it's just hard. It's hard to hear people booing.
Booing is lame. But you gotta understand, it's a newer sport too. I think more people are used to like football and things. Nobody really taking the time to get to know the fighters. Like everybody, I believe, is accustomed to like rooting for a team, like a hockey team or a soccer team. You know, somebody that is okay. Like we have our players, it's our team against your team.
Exactly.
Fighting a different sport, to an individual putting on a show. So I think it's just something that has to grow along with the times. It's how people, for instance, when you're in Japan and they're having fights, you know, like people go down to the ground, jiu-jitsu. In Japan, they don't say nothing. They just look. You know, they're aware of the jiu-jitsu. I think it's part of the national sport too.
Yeah, and they love it there too, right? Like
yeah,
and they have so much respect for fighting, right? Like it's like combat sports in general. They just have so much more respect for everybody.
Bushido, man, the way to Bushido.
Exactly, right? Exactly. Your opponent, David White. Give us your thoughts on his fighting style and, you know, about the fight.
I've seen one fight. I mean, there wasn't much stand-up, and it's not like to go off of. But I'm really a firm believer about everybody's different the day of the fight. There's different factors that go into it. Your mindset might be different, you know, but I pride myself on being a different fighter. Every single time I fight, I always do. The same mistakes I made last time, I'm not going to make the second time. Now, he seems to just be a big guy who's kind of athletic, got some speed, but I'm faster, I'm stronger, and safe to say smarter. Like I'll count that on damn near anybody. I don't know. I just don't see this guy beating me at all unless he just catches me with a lucky shot or something, and I'm not going to let that happen. I'm about my game, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, especially being in your hometown, right, or home like state, right?
Yes, sir. But not that, man. Like, my confidence comes from training and working with kickboxers and boxers, not MMA fighters who don't know how to strike. Most of these MMA fighters, their striking is garbage. Like they call it striking for a reason. Mm-hmm. Not real Muay Thai. It's not real kickboxing. So there's just too many holes in it. I actually learned how to kickbox. I've actually been in glory in kickbox twice and won. I'm a purple belt in jiu-jitsu. I think he might be a blue belt, but his skills do not match mine on any level. He might, like, everybody's tough. Everybody's a human being that you got to get through. Everybody's going to put up a fight, but I'm going to take it serious. But I just don't see it going his way. I just don't see him having that life. Like, everything that he thinks he might be good at, I'm better.
Yeah, I really like that you got that glory background. That's not many people have that, and there's a lot of great fighters coming out of that organization.
Yes, sir. Oh, man, it's just, I mean, it's like, I love combat sports, man. That's what I've had 7 Muay Thai fights while I was out in Cali. I've had maybe 3 or 4 kickboxing since I've been in here in Virginia. Contrary to the MMA fights I've had, you know, like, I feel in this sport now, especially, like, it's different than it was back in the day. Like, when I first started, I had okay wrestling, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But that only takes you so far. These fighters are evolving. Everybody is well-rounded. If you don't step up to the plate, man, you get smoked, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, exactly. Like, it's evolved so much throughout the years. Can't do that wrestling. Like, wrestling's a great base to have, but if you don't have that jujitsu, you don't have that stand up. It's gonna be a rough night, and you'll find out real quick that it's a hard sport to be in after that.
Is there you gonna get caught? You know what I'm saying? Like people get caught because they make mistakes. If your defense ain't tight, you know what I'm saying? Like if you don't know how to return your punches back to where you need to, if you can't kick and return your kick back to your stance, people are going to take advantage of that, and I'm sure as hell going to take advantage of that.
Do you find it's like a lot of timing and like that kind of stuff? You got to focus, because a lot, like back in the day, it used to be I can hit him as hard as I could and he's going to go down. But now it's like if you don't throw at a certain time, you know, do you find that is like a lot harder to do than hitting the pads?
The timing as far as like catching them off balance or like
and reacting with them.
It was at first. Like my first few Muay Thai fights, man, like it was just all power, wing and everything. Like I got some good knockouts, some good first round finishes, you know, like there's no better feeling than hitting somebody in the face as hard as you can and watching them forward. You know, like curling to the little ball inside the cage and the ref call it off.
And just hearing those fans.
Oh, it's an amazing feeling. But it don't always go that way, you know what I'm saying? That's when the competition rises, the competitors are better. So you can't just wing power into every single thing. You gotta sit back. You gotta watch what they're doing. You gotta return your punches. You gotta be in your stance. You gotta wait to see if they do something. You gotta pump fake. You gotta make them move. The art of inception. You know what I'm saying? You throw a jab. You want to throw a jab. You're waiting for that jab. You come over. You know, like it's a game of chess that I love. Just like jiu-jitsu. Like I am one of the biggest fans of jiu-jitsu in the gi itself. That in itself teaches you how to think, how to get out of certain situations. How am I going to handle this problem? Every fighter I come across is a different problem. It's just a puzzle, you know. How do I figure it out? And like that's why I like fighting a heavyweight too, man, because I'm smaller. I might be smaller, but usually I'm faster and just as strong, if not a little bit, just not as strong. You know what I'm saying? So playing to my strengths while picking apart their weaknesses is what the sweet science is, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's boxing, whether it's Muay Thai, wrestling, jiu-jitsu. That's where fighters differ. Because you have so many fighters coming in with, oh yeah, I'm this big fighter, you know, I'm living to name. I call myself a fighter, but I'm not really training everything I need to do. They're just coming in, throw a couple bombs and land and hit somebody. There's not no real technique in that.
Yeah, and
you look at fight.
I miss those days of like the competition, you know, like a lot of people are just doing it for the money and they want that payday and they want their face on this and that. But I love the mentality you have. It's like about that competitions aspect of it. That like,
yeah. Like, I mean, I want to be that. Of course, everybody wants to be that fighter that has that big payday.
Oh, exactly. But yeah.
I have a life outside of fighting. Like, I'm a family man, you know, my wife is in the military. I was actually trying to go Merchant Marines before, it's just working alongside of them.
Yeah.
But I was trying to work with them a little bit just to have something off to do, you know, like once you make MMA your job or training all the time your job, it's not as fun. That's why I include so many other sports in what I do.
Yeah, so we were talking before the interview about how you have a seminar coming up with local Marines. Do you want to talk about that?
Oh, I'll go into it. It's not necessarily my seminar, but it's my coach's, Harvey Grassi.
Okay.
He said we're actually affiliates of Rufus Sport.
Oh, nice.
Direct lineage. And he goes out there. Like he's been doing it for a while now. Like he enjoys working with military, the same way as I do. Funny story, how I actually really started thinking about getting some MMA. Like I'm prior Navy, and I was stationed over there in Japan. I was on a ship called an LSD. It's pretty much called a Marine taxi. We have all these Marines come on board. You know, we just drive them to wherever we need to go, drop them off, pick them up, and we'd be out to sea for like 2-3 months at a time. You know what I'm saying? That drives anybody crazy.
Oh yeah.
The alphas, you know what I'm saying? People who like to get down. We'd all fight. Like we'd meet up in a VTA, and whether if nobody had boxing gloves or we did boxing gloves at first before they shut that down. But then we got into the grappling matches, like the submission matches. And I don't know if you know, but Marine Corps, they have a program called MC McMat or McMat program. Every fighting force has their own military fighting system, which they use to teach brand new people in order how to protect themselves. every branch has, well, every fighting branch, every country with a Marine branch,
Okay.
some type of army or whatever has it. But like they have their own belt systems, and like what they like to do is like they like to bring in people to teach them something different, to compound their training, to learn how to throw those proper punches, to complement their baton work, or their they have rifles with bayonets on the end of it. Like it's things like when that fails, what do you have? So they like to bring us in. My coach has been doing it for like the last 5 or 6 years. I've only been doing it for like the last 2 or 3 times. But it's just something to go in there, man. Like we get out. Like I love working with them, man, because they're so attentive. You have people who are already involved in a Marine Corps. It's called the Marine Corps martial arts program.
All right.
And like an Army has one too, or a variation. But like they're very attentive, man. They want to learn. They're already in this program to learn how to become instructors and stuff, So like outside of like the basic self-defense, they want to learn more. They want to learn how to throw them strikes, how to do a double leg takedown, how to defend against a kick, how to properly defend against a punch, how to the proper extension, like what to look for. And like we'll go out there for like maybe like 1 or 2 days, like throughout the week, either like a month before and then like next month we go up there for another day, or we just do 2 days out the week right away. But like you get to work with them, it's like we're working one-on-one with maybe about like 30, 40 Marines. Like we get it each time we get to go and just talk one-on-one. We get to do a demonstration. We get to work personally with them, see how their body's moving. If they want to try and move, they're allowed to try and move. Some of the most respectful students you will ever have. I got into MMA because we used to fight in the VTA with them, like Marines and sailors. If we were fighting each other, we were fighting ourselves. If we were fighting the
enemy or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it's all for fun, It's just a whole bunch of people with nothing better to do.
Yeah, it's pretty cool that you're teaching them, because something you may have taught someone could be the difference of like saving their life. So
exactly.
A pretty cool.
And like, man, I was like, my wife said my life. My wife is military. I'm prior military, and like I think this is something I'll probably be doing in the long run. The bigger my name gets, I'll be trying to work with Marines or Army or anybody military. It's a brotherly love thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so like it's it ties perfectly into MMA because it's a beautiful camaraderie. You guys.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, exactly.
Like because you have like in MMA you got your gyms and stuff like that, but then these other guys you're going to war to and like in a different aspect. So it's
that camaraderie, military brotherhood. That's something that's strong and can never go away. You're talking to people like you're sleeping next to for like months on end.
Yeah, and you rely on them.
When you have people that, you got to rely on them. And when you're teaching people who have that same mindset, they want to learn, and then they look to you, it's like, okay, this is another military member who decided to get out and take his life somewhere completely different. So he knows exactly where we're coming from, the life that we experience, and he's bringing something new back to us.
Yeah, man.
That's what
you got to respect that.
I really enjoy it.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty cool that you're doing that for your local Marines and Army and stuff like that, right? Yeah, it's pretty great.
Oh, yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to add? Sorry to keep you so long. Appreciate your time.
Oh, you're good. You're good. Any
shout outs to your supporters, where the listeners can find you on social media, and any last thoughts about the fight?
Oh, yeah, man. Shout out my sponsors, man. Big Dog Brand VA. They've always been there, hooking up my gear, shirts, all that. My management, Sucker Punch Entertainment, man. They picked me up after one fight. They obviously saw something they liked and they believe in me. Shout out Diego Biswell Academy, Rufus Sport, Harvey Grassley Muay Thai. We could do our thing, man. There's a lot of eyes out here, and I'm ready to put in work.
Yeah, I'm main event fight.
I just want to show
all eyes are going to be on you, man. All eyes are going to be on you on that main event.
Whoo! I love it. I love it. Even though I'm fighting and it's a main event, I've been main event before. It's still nowhere near as nervous as I was for when I was in high school wrestling on the open spotlight. It's they shut out the gym, make it completely dark, and they have one spotlight in the middle of the mat.
You still remember that to this day?
More. Yeah, I still remember that. That's more. I'll never be as nervous as I was that day.
Well, it's Saturday night. You get a beautiful stage to set your skills, right? So
I get to express myself in the martial arts I've been practicing.
And where can the listeners find you on social media?
I got a Twitter, Savage Style MMA. Got an Instagram, Savage Jits, at Instagram, and Facebook's Cedric Savage.
Awesome. Thanks for your time.
Hey man, appreciate you talking to me. I'm sorry I couldn't get to it earlier, but
oh no, yeah, you know what? You're busy, right? It's fight week. It's fight week, man. We understand.
Church.